Bluff City Media presents the No Bluffing podcast. Stepping up to the microphone are your hosts, Christian Ingram and Evan Hayes. Now, let's get to the show.
Welcome back. Yo. My camera is going crazy, but it wouldn't be me without some technical difficulties. It's all good.
You said that.
But anyway, we're going to wait on this camera to get going. But in the meantime, I am Chris Ingram.
And I'm Evan Hayes.
And this is the No Bluffin podcast. Welcome back to another episode. Glad to be here today. I don't know why my camera is tripping. It don't want to focus in on it, but we're going to get that fixed shortly. So don't worry about that. Man, welcome back to the No Bluffin podcast, where we keep it all the way real, all the way raw, and all the way honest about everything Grizzlies. Like I said, this is Evan. I'm Chris, man. Make sure y'all give our pod page a follow. I don't know what's going on with this camera, man. Come on, man.
It's messy.
I'm right here.
Focus, boy.
Come on now.
Focus.
Get my face right. Don't do me like that. Here we go. All right, there we go. I know,
cool.
You know. Y'all probably ain't want to see this face this early or after whatever time you're watching this, whatever. But it's all good. But anyway, make sure y'all follow the pod page below, as well as our personal pages as well. Got a lot that we got over there on our personal Twitters. Like I said, trying to get Evan to 1,000, man. That's the goal, right? Evan, give us an update, brother. Where you at right now?
Last time YouTube video. Let's not do that. Last time I checked, I'm at 367 right now. I got a few extra followers. Finally, Dev Walker of the Memphis Grizzlies finally followed me, so that was cool.
Dev, you ain't follow me, bro. You trifling.
Oh,
come on,
follow us. Dang, you gotta follow both of us.
Devin.
Yeah, I don't know. Dev, I've been knowing Dev for a little minute. I was like, dang, Dev, finally follow me. But yeah, I'm at 367 right now. Just let me get at least to what's today? June 1st? Well, June 2nd.
Yeah.
Let me get to at least 500 by the third. Yeah, let's get to at least 500 by the end of the summer. Can I at least do that, y'all? By the end of the summer?
Come on, man.
500 by the end of the
man.
Come on, fam. Give me this fire contact. Come on, bro. Anyway, I can talk about that all day, but I'm at 367 right now. This is 140 some more people, 160 some more people. Come on. Run it up.
We almost there, man. Run it up. Well, before we get into my shenanigans, because I definitely got to give y'all a recap of what happened last week or why I had to be off the show the last
that was crazy.
25, 30 minutes. Evan, how was your week, brother? Highlights of your week, things like that.
What happened this week? This has been a field week. I got another job, so I'm working 2 jobs now, trying to, get my little hustle on. I'm actually a youth fitness coach, which is pretty cool, in this company called Keto Kinetics in Memphis. So I go out to different schools, community centers, daycares, kind of just teach little kids, basically kids around your daughter's age, about the different fitness, about sports and just getting their body right. So that's pretty fun. I'm back doing my summer classes, I'm still trying to graduate early, so that's pretty cool. Spent time with some fam this week, saw some friends. So yeah, just getting to it. Nothing really crazy, just kind of just getting to it, Just really just staying on my ground, but nothing crazy, you feel me? What about you, bro? How's going on? I know it was a monsoon last week in Clarksville, so talk about that. What happened?
Man, let me start there, bro. First of all, I'm glad we started recording when we did, because my power from the time we started. For those who don't know, we do record this show normally a day early. Sometimes one off here and there, we'll try to record it the day of and give y'all, the latest of the breaking news going on. But normally we do it a day early, and we do it pretty early too. So, try to get it out the way before church, family time, work, things like that. If we had have started an hour later, it would have been a wrap, because my power was out from 9 o'clock to about 5:30, almost 6 p.m. on last Sunday.
All day is crazy. I know the kids are jumping off the wall.
Man,
yeah, that's what I'm saying. With no iPad or no phone today, or no TV.
My 3-year-old, she had an iPad, and luckily we had this new movie Thelma. We had that. It's on Netflix. Y'all got kids or little cousins, little niece and nephew. Check it out, bro. It's actually a good little cool movie on Netflix called Thelma. about this little donkey or horse, pony, whatever she is. She ends up turning into a unicorn. It's dope. But anyway, it's downloaded on her iPad, and she watched it probably 2-3 times. So
just back to back.
Yeah. When she wanted to watch something, she was putting that on. So we finally got out the house a little later on, and by the time we was getting something to eat, we was finna go to the movie theater. And next thing you know, we got a notification the power's on. So thank God for that, because you just don't understand how like grateful you are for stuff until it's taken away, the small stuff. So it's like, man,
for real.
Yeah. But the week itself was cool, man. I ain't really got no complaints. Just ready to. I mean, you know how it be, man. When it comes to this sports stuff, this basketball stuff, you be itching to get to the next step. So I'm just ready to get to the finals and then get to the off season. So
yeah. I feel that we got like 5 days until the finals. 4 days is when this comes out. To the finals. So the finals was, and we're not gonna get to the topic right now, but it was that was like my entertainment for the week. Kind of watching the finals, or watching the conference finals. Just trying to prep for that. So yeah, I'm glad I'm glad the fam is safe. Obviously, also I don't know if you're gonna put me out there, but your kids doing a little T-ball, which is kind of cool. Your kids doing T-ball now. They're like, how's that been for you, bro?
Man, you know what? I forgot about that. I'm glad you brought that up. The first practice that we took her out there, my daughter Elena, she's 3 years old. Very hilarious. Her personality is blooming. She got done with her first practice, bro, and when we got to the car, she said, that was a disaster.
She was out of it. She's like, Dad, I don't like T-ball.
She was done. I'm like, man, you 3. Like, you're not supposed to be like the just most coordinated. You're not gonna be the best. So, me and my wife, we were athletes. We giving her, prep talks and stuff like that. And so she kind of worked her way up. She's been practicing at home. She got out there, bro. My daughter is she is the perfect example of the person that, like, everybody got this friend that, like, when this friend is in the friend group, he's the funniest or she's the funniest person alive.
Yeah, just goofy.
But then you get them out and they just like so quiet. They're like, I would never know you'd be like this.
Yeah,
that's my daughter, bro. She's the most well-mannered person when she gets around people, very quiet. She can even be shy. But when she get home, it's, oh my God, Tasmanian
devil just going all over the place. Yeah.
Yes. She get out there on the plate, bro, and I'm talking about been practicing, been knocking it to the fence at the house. She get out there and get the baseball bat and literally tap the pole and just kind of take off triding to the base. We like, bro, what?
What is you doing? We didn't practice at the house. We didn't do this.
Yeah, she was nervous. I think everybody watching her, she just kind of was like, all right, bro, this is a lot going on. So I think next week should be better, but it was fun just to see her out there, getting your kids in the activities again. Mine's only 3, so we just kind of getting started. But man, it's kind of dope to see them kind of evolve into these little people that they becoming. So yeah, it was fun. It was fun as hell.
Yeah. If you don't mind me asking, what sport did your wife play when she was growing up?
She hooped. She was a basketball player.
Oh, that's dope. Yeah. You did football and track. She did basketball. Yeah, she got the athlete genes for sure. She gonna pick up something. She gonna pick up something. She gonna pick up. It may not be baseball or softball, but she gonna pick up something.
And she loves watching basketball. Me and Ann, obviously W is on right now. We're gonna talk about that here in a second. But she loves watching basketball, man or women. So we'll see what happens with that.
You never know.
We'll see. Either way, I'm gonna be out some money because she's gonna be doing something.
Oh, no, for sure. The sports, I didn't realize how expensive youth sports was until I actually got out of it. I'm like, dang, my parents were spending a lot of money on me, like uniform, shoes, travel. Like, oh my, especially if she does AAU. Oh, best believe get ready for that.
12 times we trying to get on job and rent team so they can pay for everything.
Oh yeah, hit up 12, like, hey, get us right. My daughter can hoop. You feel me? Like, she get buckets. Like, I see the highlights. No, we got 6-year-olds getting highlight tape now, bro. Like, it's a different day and age now. So if you want to get when she get about 7, man, get that camcorder out. Start giving out. Because
she have a mixtape.
No, she's mixtape. 8 years old, just cooking these little girls up. Oh my gosh, I'm so glad I'm so glad I'm out of youth sports now. I cannot stand it. I might sound like an old man right now when I say that. But I can't stand youth sports now. Oh my! I'm so glad I'm in college. Oh my gosh, I hate it. I hate it.
It's a different beast now, bro. With social media, it ain't the same as when we were growing up.
It's not like the mixtape junk. Like for me, really didn't get like big. I got like late middle school, high school. I was like, okay, maybe folk getting taped, and that's understanding. That's when you get recruited. But now you got dudes who like you got look here with fake arm sleeves on, 9-10 years old, talking crazy, getting mic'd up, talking crazy when they're like 9 or 10, and in an AAU tournament in Texas somewhere, and they like, oh my gosh, this is terrible. This is terrible.
They wilding out nowadays, bro. I don't know where it's coming. Well, I know where it's coming from. Let me not act like I'm slow. Like social media has got these kids wilding the heck out. I'll just say that.
Yeah.
But man, we got a special episode for y'all today. A good one. Definitely some heat coming your way. We got Damichael Cole of the Commercial Appeal is gonna be joining us today to talk through some center situations, man. So I'm excited to talk to that with him, inviting him on the show for the first time. So we got, like I said, some action-packed topics to talk about with that. But before we do that, man, y'all already know what's going on. We got the No Bluffin news is coming, and today we got some spicy stuff to talk about because
yes, we do.
We just go jump into it like that. For those that don't know who Caitlin Clark is, I don't know how you don't know. But,
you're living on a rock these
know,
days if you don't.
Yeah. You'll know when you get done listening to this show. You probably go back, to YouTube and search her, look her up or whatever. But Caitlin Clark was number 1 pick in the WNBA draft. She was one of the best, maybe even the most outstanding player in college women's basketball last year.
For the past 2 years. For the past 2 years, actually. Yeah,
man. She's a phenom for sure. And it's brought a lot of eyes to the game. Has sellout arenas wherever she goes. But recently she spoke out because this first, I guess you can say, 10 games of her career in the W, bro, it's been hell and back for her. And she came out last week and she talked about how, quote, I'm going to quote on this. She said that people are more physical with her than others, and they get away with a lot, as opposed to other people. Before I give how I feel about it, because I get it, you got a target on your back. You've been pushed to be this person. The marketing dollars of the media is pushing you to be this next great thing. And you got even some people in the media saying that she's the reason why the W is getting, the attention that it's never gotten before, which I see that point a little bit, but
not really.
Not really. Like this, I was talking to my wife yesterday. I said, I feel like this is probably one of, I ain't gonna say deep, but it's probably one of the deepest draft classes in the W that's ever been across the board, bro. So it's not just her, it's all of them that, combined is making it a thing. But just talk about this whole situation, bro, from how she's been playing, the media coverage, and also, like I said, with the physicality, because they played against Angel Reese and Chicago Sky, and it got a little chippy, bro. So just talk about all that real quick.
When I first, because I've been watching this, probably most people are just her first few games of the season, and first I'm talking her on the court play. She's not doing anything that I wouldn't expect to be doing right now. She's going through the growing pains of being the lead guard on a professional basketball team, so her turnovers are super high. I think she's averaging like 5.5 turnovers a game right now. So her assist to turnover ratio is like 1-to-1. She's averaging like 5. She's like averaging 6 assists and 5 turnovers. So you don't love to see that, but again, she has the ball. Her usage rate is super high, and she's not on that great of a team. She's still doing the long ball. Sporadic play. She's still pulling that jump from 40 and 30, and I don't know, like she's getting success, but it's not gonna work to the degree. Maybe I'm saying like a broken record because I feel like they said this about Steph when he was doing this, or maybe I may be stupid when they go back and say this. It doesn't look the same. I may not be explaining it the right way, but it doesn't look like it's smooth as I would have thought, or most people would have thought she coming in. But coming to the physicality point of it, what do you expect? Like these young women that you're playing against are competitive just like anyone else. If I'm coming in and I hear they say, "Oh, this young cat coming in finna kill everybody, take everybody's spot," I'm not gonna sit down and take that. So what do you expect to happen? So are they being physical with her? Yes, but I feel like it's egregious. No, because what is basketball? A contact sport. Like, and the refs know that too. Like the refs are gonna get them, and people forget like the refs are humans too. They're gonna have their own judgment on everything. So they're gonna maybe get her a little bump. Is it fair? No, but is life fair? Also no. Is sports fair? Also no. So my opinion, like for Caitlin, like she just needs to put her head down and hoop. Like she's being productive on the floor, but it's not looking clean, if you get what I'm saying. And I feel like she's too worried about the outside stuff, like, oh, what's the media saying, or this girl may bump me and I don't like and complain to the ref. Like, oh, just hoop, man. Or hoop, woman. Like, just hoop. Like, but I do have a question before you get in your thing. You know, I have this wave with Caitlin. I wasn't alive. Well, I was alive, but I wasn't cognitive enough when LeBron came to the league. Is this comparable when LeBron came to the league? Like the media attention and the heat and the pressure. Do you think it's kind of comparable? Because I wasn't allowed to see that. But do you, since a person that lived through both, do you think it's very comparable?
It's definitely, man, here you go, make me feel old again. God damn. Yes, I remember when Bron was coming in. I may have been in like the 5th grade, maybe, when this was becoming a thing. Because I remember waking up before going to school and they was showing everything from his high school. Like they were showing it on local news, Memphis local news. They showing his high school stuff, talking about him about to come into the league. And when he got there, I mean, from day one, he just took off. But as far as marketability or just talking him up, as far as, you know, people, you know, out for blood with him, yes. The difference with LeBron was he's a freak of nature out of high school. He's a grown man out of high school. He was just blessed with physical tools, even outside his basketball, you know, skill set, that it really didn't matter what them dudes tried to do. You got to see a lot of this too. I'm gonna compare it. He's not as big of he wasn't the same player as LeBron, but you saw a lot of the same stuff that Caitlin Clark is going through, bro, with Lonzo Ball.
That's like, exactly what I was gonna say. Oh my gosh, you read my mind exact, because they was coming for that dude. First game of the season, he played against Patrick Beverly. He put Lonzo on his
He picked him up 94 feet and put him on the ground.
Like at least 5-10 times. At least 5 to 10 times. And it was like that for the first to the All-Star break. Every game, Lonzo was getting heat by every opposing guard. And of course, his dad wasn't helping him. Of course, it's not the same situation. But that's what I feel like it's more similar to. Because when Lonzo came with all the hype in the world, Magic literally said, I hope your jersey's hanging in the rafters. Like to a 19-year-old kid. Like, what do you expect the guys they're going to be playing against every night that forget the guys that's played for the Lakers. Like the Lakers are the most storied franchise in the NBA, maybe besides the Celtics. And you got Magic Johnson give you the cosign when you're 19 years old. What do you expect to happen?
That may be the better. I mean, because I get it. Like if you're talking about impact, I'm gonna say LeBron James. But you're talking about hype, I'm gonna say Lonzo. Because I remember Lonzo summer league games. They were talking about his summer league games were breaking records, bro. And that's why, you know, at that time the Grizzlies were kind of on the down slope. I picked up the Lakers as my second team to watch on League Pass every single night, bro. I was loving seeing him, Kuzma, Josh Hart, Zubac, like that little core that they had, Caruso. I was like, damn, these dudes next up. And they got LeBron too to kind of, you know, push them. But that's kind of what I could see, like it's the most similar. They were physical with him too. And this is the other thing, like it's a lot of people that are just starting to watch or pay attention to the WNBA, and that's fine. Like Anthony Saint brought up a good point. He was talking about how like the casual fan, the people that don't really watch it like that, these, you know, these rivalries, these videos that are going on social media and all the hype, it's bringing more casuals to the game, which casuals pay money. You need that to grow the game. So everybody's trying to gatekeep the WNBA, talking about like y'all old fans need to go somewhere. You can't say you want the game to grow and then try to turn away people that have never watched before. Yes, they may be a little ignorant in the way that they, you know, they view stuff, but that's not the way to grow a product. But I will say this, like the WNBA has been chippy forever. Just go watch your local high school women's games. Like they chippy in those games too. College too.
Yeah, we're going at it.
Yeah, it's nothing different. And what I don't like is that these people that are just not tuning in just for Caitlin, which you can tell, they act like this is a special thing for her. Like she's being targeted. Okay, if you such a Caitlin Clark fan, then you would know that she's been doing this since college. Probably since high school. I've never seen, you know, I didn't get to watch her in high school or nothing like that, but she could have very well been doing this in high school, you know, as far as flopping and things like that. So, I mean, just type in Caitlin Clark flopping. You will see, bro. Like, I don't understand. Like, she got to stop that. And then she talks too. Like, her attitude is probably getting up on it. Right before that situation happened with Kennedy Carter, she literally was yapping at her on the other end. And who's to say, like, in the game, you getting bumped and all this kind of stuff? Kennedy, yes, she went out of her way to bump her. I get that.
Yeah.
Caitlin Clark should have not failed she shouldn't have failed like that. I'm sorry. You're not that damn weak. You're just not, bro. Same thing that happened with Angel Reese below the basket. Angel is boxing her out. Like, if y'all are gonna say that we can't box out in the game no more, let's just stop playing. Because she literally boxed her out. Yes, they got tangled up a little bit. But I put it on Twitter, bro. I said it looked like she got smacked by a ghost the way that she felt. Like, stop, Caitlin. Yeah, like, you're fueling this shit and you're not doing anything to actually, you're not even doing anything to stop the issue that's basically brewing beneath the surface right now.
You're not doing yourself any favors. That's what you're saying. You're not doing yourself no favors at all. Yeah.
Tell your fans on Twitter and all this to pipe down. They got these people deleting their accounts because they don't know the real you. Like, they don't know who you really are. They just look at the hype, and now they're attacking everybody. They're attacking Aaliyah Boston, which I told my wife yesterday. I said, Aaliyah Boston needs to stop worrying about being Caitlin Clark's mom or protector and just go be AB. Go be who you were. Go be that number one pick. Go be that great player that you are, and stop being this big sister to Caitlin Clark. Let her give her the game.
Go through the growing pains, bro. It's part of it.
But you being too focused on her and you not trying. That's why y'all not winning games. If we're gonna be honest, everybody's worried about her. And like you said, the basketball that she's playing is just these logo threes, bro. I get it. You want to be entertaining and stuff like that. Nobody's coming to watch a losing team. Let's win first before you start doing these logo threes 8 times a game. I get it. Pop out the 3 ball here and there. That's just not winning basketball. You're going to get your coach fired. And at certain points, them sellouts are going to stop in the FIBA arena, bro. So that's really all I got on. Any last thoughts for you?
Nah, bro. Just I tell everybody, just hoop. Forget all the other stuff. Just hoop.
Just hoop, bro. Let us know in the comments below, man. What's y'all thoughts on this whole Caitlin Clark situation? Is it too much? Do y'all feel like she's getting picked on? Or do y'all feel like she's got to step up to the plate? I think she'll be better for it if she just embraces it. And at one point, I also think that the league, they will start to respect her more once she stopped just flopping and stop this whole woe is me idea. Like, just stop doing that. Yeah. And I think you'll be fine. You'll get the respect out of your peers that you want. So that's all I got on that, man. We'll go ahead and jump to David Jones. Staying in the NBA draft, bro. We talked about Bronny last week.
Disappointed. Oh my God. I'm sorry, but I was so mad.
Go ahead, bro.
Bro, I was so pissed. I'm like, David, we trying to build the team that we should have had last year. You were the last piece. What? Yep. You not getting drafted in the first round, Playboy. You're not. I'm sorry. You're not getting
maybe not the second.
If you do get drafted, you're going to be a late second round draft pick. You're 23, 24 years old. You have very holes in your game on a pro level. It's not the good business decision to go play in the NBA. It's just not a good business decision. It's not. So I was very surprised. Because all the reports were saying that they expect him to come back. But things happen. He's a grown man, can do what he wants. But yeah, I don't think it's the right move, in my opinion. But that's really all you can do. I still feel like this team is still gonna be good next year. But it's gonna look different. I just say the ceiling isn't as high as what I initially thought with David Jones now on the team. So we got to see what happens. But disappointed. That's the first thing I say. Disappointed.
Yeah. For me, bro, it's disappointing for 2 reasons, right? I would love to see him on this team going into next year. I think they filled a lot of holes, and he was really the last piece that they need. Was that guy that, and again, I think TJ Haggerty is going to be great. Don't get me wrong. He probably could be that guy to close the game, score, whatever. You put the ball in his hand and get the hell out of the way. But to have him and DJ would have been, I think, a lot better. Sure. But what sucks also is that I feel like you missed out on some guys that you could have had on this squad. That it's too late.
They were holding out. They were holding out, thinking David Jones gonna be back, and
he's not. Yeah. Like think about it. You had what was his name? Zion James. You added him. Yeah. Complete team. You add the guy. I think it was TJ Mamba. He was.
Yeah. I thought he was coming for sure.
No. This was a lock. I'll just say this. Like, sources told me this was a lock. It was happening. And I don't know what shifted him last minute to go to, was it Oregon, I believe?
Yeah.
Bro, like, it's all based around David Jones, and so for them to kind of just give them that notice last minute, I know he got to go through the process, but it just sucks on that front because now you kind of got guys, and you still can flip some guys, before the summer is over, but it's just gonna be a lot harder than what it could have been. I know Penny wanted those guys in before the summers got started, so like you said, well wishes to David Jones, bro. I know he is, he's from the Dominican Republic. He's trying to do what he can for his family. I just think one more season, come back, help them guys compete for a title. I think your stock goes up a little bit more, but it is what it is. Yeah. Shout out to him, man.
Shout out
y'all let us know in
Jones,
the comments below. Yeah. Y'all let us know in the comments below. Y'all feel like David Jones made the right decision or not. And we'll just go from there. Last one. We're going to go through this one real quick, man, because we want to get to Damichael Cole on the other end of this break. NBA Finals, man. It's set. Celtics, Mavericks.
Yes, sir.
We ain't got to talk too much about it because we done talked about these series before. We'll kind of recap next week more when we get to see at least a game. But y'all know what I'm standing on.
You know what I'm standing on?
It all, bro. What you got?
I got Mavs is 7. I got Mavs in 7. I just think the synergy on that team is just uplifted and chosen by the basketball guys to win. And I feel like the basketball guys don't like Boston either because they should have won a championship maybe like 5 years ago, but they haven't done it yet. I just feel like it's lined up perfectly. Kyrie and Luka are playing well. Derek Lively's back in the lineup. Daniel Gafford is playing his tail off. Jaden Hardy's playing his tail off, which I didn't who probably the most unsung hero. Of course, everybody's playing well, but I feel like Jaden Hardy is not getting the credit he deserves because when Kyrie and Luka comes out, he picks up right where they left off. And I just don't think
could have been a Grizzly, Jaden Hardy. By the way,
he could have been a Grizzly instead of drafting. Very true. But I just don't think that Boston's been tested. I just don't. I don't think they have that killer to really go win a chip yet. Cause we've seen this story before. On the paper, they have the better team. On paper, they should win. But what has happened the past few times they've been in this position? They haven't got the job done. I think they have 2 killers on that side and no killers on the other side. That's what it comes down to. In the finals, what you need some killers on your side. And that's just my type. I feel it's gonna be a hard-fought series. If Kristaps isn't if Kristaps isn't 100%, I got Mavs in 5. If Kristaps is not 100%, if he's not 100%, if he's not 100%, if he is 100%, I got Mavs in 7. But if he's hobbled and he's like visibly like not him, then I got Mavs in 5 because I feel like he's gonna be the matchup nightmare for the Mavericks that the Mavericks have to account for, and that's my take.
Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown. Do y'all hear what this boy is spewing today? He said y'all getting that in 5. He said y'all got no dogs, y'all got no killers, and it's a wrap for y'all.
If Kristaps not there, I see it going in 5, bro. I'm sorry.
Wow. Okay.
Kristaps not there.
You know what I said last week, bro? Like you said, the basketball guys are aligning. Kyrie is returning to the Garden to get his payback. He is glowing. His aura is golden if I've ever seen one on the basketball court. Looking like the real version of Jesus. Jesus showed the work for real. Yeah, man. I got the Mavs winning. I'm not gonna put a game on it because I don't know what's finna happen. I can't disrespect Jackson Tatum and Jaylen Brown like
that's not disrespectful. If your third,
bro, they got defenders over there. They got defenders over there.
What they say last year? They had Jaden McDaniels. They had Anthony Edwards. Kyrie and Luka, and you know I'm playing an Earth guard Kyrie Irving and Luka Doncic. I'm sorry. Jrue Holiday is a dog. Derek White is a dog. Jason Tatum can defend. Jaylen Brown can defend. Can no one on the grass green Earth guard Kyrie and Luka one-on-one? And when they do guard on one-on-one, if they do try to go to them, they help. They kicking to PJ Washington. They picking it to Jaden. They have shooters. They've been hitting their shots. One thing consistent about the Mavs is they've won these games off of just consistent play throughout the whole team. Not just the stars. The bench players have been doing their thing as well.
That's true.
So, like, what do you expect? Like, can't no one guard them boys one-on-one if they do? PJ Hodge gonna sit in that left corner and yaki your ass to death. Like, I'm sorry. Come on,
well,
fam.
you see the sun that came shining as we talking about this stuff. So at least on my side, anyway, it was dark and now the sun came shining. All right, Kyrie, my bad, bro. You know, you don't sit. My bad. You know, my bad.
Hey, this is a real funny thing. This is super unrelated. I feel like Kyrie gonna be so enlightened one day. He gonna change his name, like have Ron Artest change his name. I can see Kyrie change his name to like some like Muslim, Hebrew, some name to just like go to the next level of enlightenment. You know, I just can see him doing that. Yeah. But that's just a random thought there.
Bartholomew Sunflower or something. You know?
I can just see that happen. That was a random thought that came into my head. You know. I can just see it
shout out to him. It's about to be an exciting series, bro. I'm excited for sure. The East was terrible. The conference finals all of that was terrible, but I'm excited to see these finals for sure. But yeah, y'all make sure y'all let us know in the comments below. Who do y'all have winning the finals and why? Like, what's y'all reason why? We gave y'all our reasons why. Y'all give us y'all, the reasons why. But that's all we got for the No Bluffin news, man. We're gonna take a quick commercial break. And like I said, on the other side of the break, we got Damichael Cole of the Commercial Appeal joining us for the first time. I'm super excited to hear this man talk about the center situation because this is all that, a lot of us has been on our brain outside of the draft, obviously. But I want to definitely get him on here to talk through just a couple of different guys and what he sees the Grizz doing coming out of this offseason, man, to get this, the squad ready for next year. So we're going to go to this first break. We're going to listen to Pete and Brevin. Not Pete and Brevin. Good job. Good God.
Pete and Brevin is crazy.
We're going to listen to Rob Fisher and Brevin tonight from the Night Court podcast, man. Y'all go ahead and listen to this commercial. We'll be right back.
An anonymous NBA team member says that having the number one pick in this year's draft is like essentially drafting Tobias Harris.
Wow.
Which we've both talked about Tobias Harris. I like him as a player. Man, that's kind of harsh. But I understand what he's saying. You don't want Tobias Harris as the number one pick in the draft.
Because you look at him and you see what can be. It's just like, you just need it all. Can we get it all the time? I just want to see that more. You're talking about some people with some low numbers as being high draft picks. I mean, the draft is just a lot different than what I'm accustomed to. Like, you guys that are going to be averaging 11 points, some guys averaging 9 points. These guys are your top 5 draft picks for the NBA draft.
I don't know, but good luck to them.
Yes.
Dreams will come true.
Well, we will welcome them into the NBA with open arms, especially if we can pronounce the last name.
Tune in to the Night Court podcast with your hosts, Rob Fisher and Brevin Knight, on the Bluff City Media YouTube channel.
I'm not surprised on the East side.
All right, we are back. Welcome back to the No Bluffin podcast, where we keep it all the way real, all the way raw, and all the way honest about everything Grizzlies, man. We got Damichael Cole joining the show for the first time, man. If y'all don't know who this gentleman is, y'all better get in tune before we get up out of here. I'll tell you that much. Damichael Cole is the beat writer for Commercial Appeal. Man, young guy. I gave him his flowers before, man, but I gotta give him his flowers on the show because he's on the first time, man. I told him this before, like this whole iteration of Grizz Next Gen, it needed somebody like Damichael, and I tell you why. Like he's a triple threat, bro. Like he's young, he's from Memphis, he's a young black man from Memphis. Like he's able to just relate to these gentlemen in this next gen era a little bit more, man. And he just couldn't have been more perfect person at a more perfect time to come in and do what he does, man. He's very much needed, appreciated. I think the guys, I told him this before, like, I want to see those big stories, those breaking news stories. I want to see those documentaries. I want to see Damichael on those, man, talking to these players because he kind of was able to come up with them. And so, like I said, I appreciate what he does. I know a lot of people do. And I just appreciate him taking the time to come on the show, man. So for the first time, we got Damichael Cole joining the show. Damichael, what's going on, my guy?
What's going on, guys? Appreciate you. For the words as well. But I'm glad to be here. I've been waiting on the call, so I'm here now. Let's make it happen.
Long overdue. Yeah, again, appreciate Damichael on the show. I've been following you for a good minute, my guy. I read as many articles as I can. Hopefully I can be in your shoes one day because I'm still a young boy in this game doing it. So I just want to say I appreciate you coming on the show and salute to you for doing everything that you're doing, fam. Like real talk.
Appreciate you.
Yep.
Absolutely. Well, make sure y'all give him a follow on Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it, Twix, whatever.
Twix
the Michael
is
C.
crazy.
Y'all got it down below. Make sure y'all give him a follow before you do anything else. The Michael, we got a center dilemma with the Grizzlies, man. And we're gonna talk through a couple different options and things like that. But before we do that, we have to start with the reason why we're here. And it's because a lot of people believe that Jaren Jackson Jr. at 6'11", 7 foot, statically could and should be the center of the future. He closed a lot of games at center, things like that. Got a lot of time at center last year due to all the injuries and things like that. But let me ask you this question. And I got to follow up, but I don't know if I'm gonna ask you that or not. I'm gonna fill it out first and see, what your response is, and I still may throw it out there. But what is the realistic probability of Jaren being the center of the future going forward for this Grizzly team?
I'll say it's more realistic than probably a lot of people realize. And the reason is when we think about Jaren playing center, we automatically in Grizzlies land, we think of, the Marc Gasol and Zebo days. We think of Jonas Valanciunas. We think of, Steven Adams. And the truth is Jaren at center wouldn't look like any of those guys. Once you accept that point, you realize how realistic it is. If you expect him to be an 8, 9, 10 rebound guy, like Grizzly centers of the past, crashing offensive boards all over the place, you're not going to be happy with the idea of Jaren playing center. But I'll say it's realistic because of it'll look different. It would look different. But there are other ways where, not just the negative side of it looking different. It'll look different in a positive way, too. Having a true stretch five who can put the ball on the floor. I mean, we saw him this season play the five and really take advantage of a lot of matchups. Too quick for certain dudes, too strong for others, draw a lot of fouls, put dudes in foul trouble. He can do all of that. But the one thing that stands out to me is the rebounding part of it, right? That's what we always talk about. If you want to put Jaren at center, it's very realistic to say, let's go get a 4, like a Jared Vanderbilt, for example. That's a dog. That's a 6'7", 6'8" guy who his life depends on rebounding. Like his money depends on rebounding. Like he gonna go get those boards. So you get a guy like that, put him alongside of Jaren, and I think it's a very realistic chance that it could work out a little bit better. If you have a Vince Williams in the starting lineup, very good rebounding guard. Ja and Dez are very good rebounding guards. It's all about what you put around him if he's playing center. If you put Jaren Jackson Jr. at center, you can't say, we're going to have mid to average rebounders at 1 through 4 and let Jaren average 10, 12 boards. You're going to get cooked that way. But you can make up for it in other areas. You go, okay, if we put Jaren at center, we got to go get a 4 that's, like a Jay Crowder type rebounder, a Jared Vanderbilt type rebounder. Those physical guys who can get, who can get nasty in there and go get those boards.
I got to follow up, man. Anything that you want to touch on this, Evan, obviously feel free to jump in, bro.
For sure.
Why do you think that? Because this is just me, and I'm not the guy that's gonna go on Twitter and let them have it. What do you think the reason why Jaren has issues with his rebounding? Do you think it's more a mental thing? Do you think it's more scheme? What the coaches ask? Because I've heard him laugh at that question before, and it being almost like a scheme thing. And I've heard Taylor Jenkins talk about this offseason is going to be a philosophy switch. Do you think it's going to be part of that philosophy switch where they say, hey, bro, forget going back and, getting back on defense to be that defensive anchor. We need you to go crash the board. Why do we, as a
he made frustrated.
Why is it? Make sure I ask this correctly because I don't want to come off a way that I'm not trying to be. Why do we not almost in the media or just as a fan base demanding more? And do we think that's going to be part of the change? Because like you said, I've always said this to Michael, if he gets his rebounds to 8 a game, 8.5 a game, a lot of people would be quiet.
Yeah. Oh, they would. But
for sure.
What I think is, honestly, this is just who he is. When Jaren was coming out of high school, you look at the scout report, shot blocker, 3-point shooter, all that. But then the rebounding, at Michigan State, same questions. You know, he played alongside of guys like Nick Ward, Xavier Tillman. Those dudes, like, they clean the gas up. He's not averaging that many boards in college. So it was kind of masked a little bit. Then he comes to the Grizzlies. He playing alongside of Jonas. He playing alongside of Steven Adams. You know, it's kind of masked a little bit. Like, you're still the top rebounding team in the NBA with both of those guys. And no one really cares. But when we talk about him playing center, now it becomes a bigger deal. And honestly, I just think this is who he is. I think the sooner people accept that Jaren is never going to be, you know, Dennis Rodman or, you know, Dwight Howard or anything like that as a rebounder, and you accept the fact that we got to improve around him, then you'll be able to, you know, kind of, I guess, get used to, hey, look, we're going to have an average rebounder at center. Teams have won with average rebounders at center in the past because they have other guys around them that kind of, you know, can help out or make up for some of that. We see Golden State down the stretch go to Draymond Green at center. You know, we see, you know, even the Cavs. Kevin Love was a great rebounder in his prime, but when they put him at center and you know, when he got in his 30s and whatnot, it wasn't the same. You know, so with all that being said, like, I think people just got to accept, like, look, Jaren's never going to be a great rebounder. I think at this point, my thing is, we look at guys when Santi went in the starting lineup, when Kyle Anderson used to go in the starting lineup. All of them rebounded the ball better than Jaren. The scheme thing is, to me, it's a cover-up. Like, and it's just being real. Like, you know, we on the No Bluffin podcast right now, so we got to keep it real.
Capping. We ain't capping.
Yeah, we got to keep it real, man. So look, I think it's a cover-up. Like, it's, you know, it is what it is. Like, Taylor Jenkins is never going to come out and say Jaren's not a good rebounder. Like, he's going to say, oh, well, you know, the scheme leads into this and that. But there are so many times where I've seen the ball be right on the cusp of Jaren's hands, and another guy just comes and snags it and grabs it, or he can't pull it down. That's, you know, I mean, that's all it is to me. It's want to, it's will, you know, it's skill. I mean, I talked to Xavier Tillman in the locker room. I used to talk to Steven Adams in the locker room. They can sit there and talk to you 5 to 10 minutes about rebounding. Like, just nothing else. Like, positioning. When the ball is shot on this side of the goal, position yourself on this side. It's more likely to come off on this. These dudes live rebounding, but I don't get the same, you know, like, desire for that, the same thirst for that from Jaren.
I got a question. Two questions. So you said mask and like the other guys like mask it and all that. Yeah. Do you honestly think if we brought in like a glass cleaner, like another Steven Adams type, do you think that will, because I feel like next year we have the best talent probably around on our team that we've ever had. Because the reason I feel like y'all can both tell me if I'm wrong. I think part of the reason why he hasn't been rebounding like that is number one, just because he want to, but also because he's had all other responsibilities like shot blocking, a lot like offense, like all of that. Do you think because next year we have such a talented team around him, and if we get another like glass cleaner, do you think that will motivate him more to rebound? And my second question is, if you were Zach Kleiman, what would you do? Like, would you have him doing this at the center, or would you get some of the guys we talk about that we're going to talk about later to get him? So whichever way you want to do those,
I'll start with the second one because I'll work back the first one. And at the end of the day, this like. Because I said a lot of, things about him just then. But at the end of the day, he was all-star playing this style. So if it ain't broke, don't fix it. You know? He when you put that center beside him, that glass cleaner, as you mentioned, that other guy can protect the rim. That's when we talk about Jaren as a roamer, right? He gets to be on the perimeter a little bit more. He gets to, come in, like a skyhawk or something in the paint, coming behind guys. And, really just, for real, man. And he can do that because – you get past Jaren and he's coming behind you, but you got Steven Adams at the rim. You got Jonas Valanciunas at the rim, and these type of dudes. So he's still able to be one of the best shot blockers, in the NBA while playing that type of role. So if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I think, you go get your glass cleaner or whatever, and he'll play that brand of basketball. And from a motivational standpoint, I do think it will. I think he's going to be a better rebounder. I do not think he's maxed out as a rebounder by any means. I just don't ever expect him to be a double-double guy. We saw, over the last couple of years, we've seen more like games where Jaren has 3 or 4 rebounds than 10 to 12.
That's true.
That's the reality of it. So I'm never expecting him to average 10 to 12 rebounds. It doesn't feel realistic, scheme wise, minutes wise, anything like that. But from a motivational standpoint, I could see, like you said, when the Grizzlies get back, they're gonna be motivated next season. Ja, Dez, all these guys are going to next levels as leaders. They don't depend on. There's no Dylan Brooks, Kyle Anderson, Steven Adams. Those voices are gone. They are the voices now, and Jaren's gonna have to show some of the stuff that he wants the other guys to do. You want other guys to box guys out, put a shoulder into somebody's chest and all that. Go show them. You got to do it. And I think he's going to do more of that. And, of course, the winning. Like, they're going to come back. They're going to win a lot of games. And he's going to see that the West is so tight now. The West is so competitive. It's going to come down to a couple plays 3 times a week. 3 times a week. It's going to be that one time where Jaren may miss a rebound. We talk about it, for 3 days. And it's going to be the difference this season, whereas in the past, it's all good. They're firmly in the top 6. Now you lose 3 games in a row in the West, you go from 2 to 7, now you're in the play-in. I think that motivational standpoint is just going to come from the urgency in the Western Conference.
No, we're going to move to this.
Sure. Yeah.
Go ahead, my bad.
No, we're going to get out of it. Just for sure, because the pressure's on. And me and Chris have talked about on the pod a few weeks ago, the pressure is on for this whole team. So as you said, everyone's going to have to up their game a little bit. And honestly, I wouldn't say I'm worried about Jaren, but I feel like out of all guys that we need to step up, I feel like it needs to be him. If that's me, I feel like who's going to be the X factor for this team next year is going to be Jaren. Because I feel like we already know we're going to get from Ja and Dez. And I feel like Gigi's going to take his natural leap. I feel like Jaren is that guy that could be that matchup nightmare for so many teams. So if he ups his rebounds, maybe to 7 a game, 6.5 a game, we not gonna be mad.
You ain't asking for too much.
Come on, and I feel like he's gonna be the guy that's gonna be that X factor for the team next year to put us in the West Conference Finals, to put us in NBA Finals. So that's why I just want to see. I feel like it's gonna have to be some type of mental shift plus a personnel switch with the team. But if we get the personnel change, I feel like he's going to be the guy that we need to need to depend on to get those rebounds, to block shots, to just be the best version of himself to get to that next level.
Yeah, for sure. And he got another level for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
Let's rip the Band-Aid off real quick, Mike, before we get to this next part.
Yeah.
Does Jaren need a Sam Cassell type coach to go cuss him out and say, Jaren, get your ass down there and give me 10 boards tonight? Does he need that?
Oh my God.
Jaren's got teammates that's been like that though. So I don't know if that's what it takes. Desmond Bane is, I don't know if people know it, but Desmond Bane is tough. Dylan Brooks, everybody knows how he was. Ja Morant, even to the same degrees. All of those dudes are Jaren can come in the locker room. Yeah, I just had 27, 28. The mentality they have is, but look at your rebounds. That's the energy that those
That's crazy.
Desmond Bane is a very constructive. You ask the players, talk to them. Desmond Bane gets on dudes. Constructive. Ja Morant has been asking for this version of Jaren that we saw most of this season offensively, one of the top isolation scorers in the NBA. John's been asking for that guy for a while. He'll tell you, that's the Jaren I've been wanting to see. Even Dylan Brooks when they played Houston. I asked him, I said, Dylan, we used to talk about it last season because, at one point last season, y'all know Jaren used to always go on these stretches and everybody here it comes. And then he kind of, just goes back down real quick. It's hold up, never mind. One of those stretches was in March. When Dylan Brooks was here, I was like, Dylan, you think he's there yet? And Dylan was like, no. He's still ain't there. He's still, Dylan was the one who coined that. We used to talk a lot about, even before I started covering the team, when I just was watching and everything, everybody used to talk about him being a dog. Jaren needing to be more of a dog. Kind of, I guess, being soft or whatever the case may be, needing to be more physical, all of that stuff. And that's not tone deaf in the Grizzlies locker room. Those guys have kind of been on him. So a coach would be nice, probably. Taylor Jenkins definitely ain't that Sam Cassell, but he got the teammates that'll get on him too.
this is a very bad idea. But get that man's dad on the staff. He always plays good when he plays against the Spurs.
When he goes against the Spurs, he cook. Yeah.
Hey, this is a super unrelated thing, but I have a friend named Alex Anderson. He plays for some school in San Antonio, but Jaren Jackson's dad is the coach for that team. Like, he's the assistant coach for that team. And he always says how Jaren Jackson's dad is super, like, on him.
Yeah.
I can't remember the school right now. Oh, my God. I can't remember.
Incarnate World, yeah.
Yeah, that's the name of the school. Yep, that's the name of the school right there. It's probably a bad idea, but if you could put Jaren Jackson's dad on the bench, hey, come on. No son wants to hear their dad cursing them out in front of
them. Get some Jalen Brunson, Rick Brunson vibes.
Exactly.
There you go.
I'm just saying, like, hey, you never know. He may throw him back, move back to Memphis. Hey.
It worked for Jalen Brunson.
Yeah, that's all I'm saying, bro. Sure. Why not?
Man, for real. Well, make sure y'all comment below. Let us know. Is Jaren at the 5 a realistic thing for you all? And what do you think it needs to happen to make that a full-time thing? We definitely want to hear from you in the comments below. We're gonna go ahead and jump into these Grizzly options at center. I'm gonna set the table, Evan. I'm gonna get you to pop it off, bro. But basically, what we want to get from you, Damichael, on all these options, we had about 10 options, and the last one is a mystery center that we may have not talked about, or just maybe your favorite option out of it that's available or could be available. We want to get your thoughts on this person being brought into this team, what you think it may take, and is it worth it, basically, if he's one of these guys. Evan, I'm going to let you pop it off, man. We'll kind of just go from there.
Yes, the first guy, as you can see, who's been very rumored for the past few weeks, ever since they got eliminated from the playoffs, is Jared Allen. You know, there was some rumblings going on in Cleveland about, like, maybe he's not getting along with his teammates, and they wanted him to get a shot when he was hurt, and all this and that. So the rumblings have been there. So what do you think of Jared Allen being a possible big man, or the big man next to Jared for next season?
Yeah, see, we came right off the top with, honestly, my favorite target or potential guy to fill that spot. It's Jared Allen for me, only because, you know, when we think about this, we got to think about it from the standpoint of, yeah, we know the Grizzlies side, how they can get these guys, but what makes sense for the other team too? These teams ain't giving up the type of centers that we're talking about the Grizzlies getting for nickels and dimes. Like, you got to have something that's going to appeal to them as well. And this is the one that makes the most sense for both sides. Jared Allen, $20 million contract going into next season, has 2 years left on his deal, I believe. So financially, Marcus Smart's money lines up right in that frame. But look, I know, man. But
we keep talking about Smart, man. It makes me sad. Man.
It's the only way. It's the only way. If you want to get Jared Allen, there's no other. I mean, they ain't taking, you know, Zaire Williams some picks and
Luke Kennard.
They got Sam Merrill. They got those type of guys. They're not doing that. At the end of the day, if you look at the Cavs, where do they have problems? One, there's addition by subtraction from the fact of they need to move off of the Jared Allen, Evan Mobley combination. The net rating for the team when Jared Allen was on the floor without Evan Mobley was the best all season for them. But when Evan Mobley was on the floor without Jared Allen, he was also better than when he was on the floor with Jared Allen. So they need to split that up. For one, they're not the, you know, Minnesota Timberwolves, where the Timberwolves have a 40% three-point shooter in Karl-Anthony Towns, where he's a 7-footer, but he shoots 40%. Evan Mobley has not developed offensively like some people thought up to this point. Maybe still will, but he hasn't yet. So the point is, you move him to center, he's going to do his thing defensively. There's addition by subtraction with moving Jared Allen from that perspective. Then the best part about it for the Grizzlies and for them is the fact that the Cavs have 2 small guards. You got Donovan Mitchell, you got Darius Garland. We've heard, you know, the rumblings with that backcourt duo. It sounds like they're committed to bringing Donovan Mitchell back, but what does that mean for Darius Garland? You know, he's with Clutch. We know Clutch going to get their way one way or another. Clutch going to make something happen. So I think in the simplest form, Darius Garland and Donovan Mitchell, 2 guards who are not good defensively, you know, by the metrics. And they're 2 small guards. Yes, Marcus Smart is on the smaller end, but he's a former defensive player of the year. And, I mean, we saw him this season, even in a small stretch, guard bigger dudes, and we've seen him in his career do it. So, for Cleveland, the appeal is you could put a defensive-minded guard beside Donovan Mitchell in that starting lineup, figure out whatever you're going to do with Darius Garland after that. And you get the addition by subtraction and moving off of Jared Allen, giving yourself a little bit more spacing, let Evan Mobley cook a little bit more. Now he probably potentially takes another leap in his career. For the Grizzlies, you get Jaren Allen. This is the one that makes the most sense. Financially, you don't have to do too much rambling around. Marcus Smart, you probably whatever, maybe a pick or something to add in there. But I know Marcus Smart is a tough one to lose. But the only reason that I'm even willing to put Marcus Smart in this is because of the emergence of, as you said earlier, Gigi Jackson, of Vince Williams. Before last season, before this, well, this past season, it's still this season. I know it don't feel like
it don't feel like
it. Before this season, we didn't know what the Grizzlies were going to do on the wing. You know, everybody was calling for Mikal Bridges, OG Anunoby, all these different type of names. Now you got Vince Williams who's emerged. You got Gigi Jackson. You know, to a lesser degree, still got some things to go, but they value those two. They gave them both contract extensions. Jared Allen makes a lot of sense. He's another guy who's a former All-Star. Now you got a 3 All-Stars potentially in your lineup, along with Desmond Bane, who's probably going to be an All-Star one day, and then a Vince Williams who
all defensive
about a guy he understands his role. Vince Williams take 2 shots, he'll be fine, and that's the type of guy you need.
With 5 steals and 5 blocks.
5 steals, 5 blocks.
Exactly. Come on.
I love that. You selling me on that, Damichael. I'm not gonna lie to you, man. I've been on the fence. But for people that don't know, I put it out on Twitter the other day, man. Jared Allen does have Memphis roots. His mom actually went to Southside High School, graduated from there. So, hey, man, little homecoming type thing, you know. I don't think that's a bad idea.
He's a good offensive rebounder too. Yeah,
he is. And we need that for sure. With all them 3 balls going up, we be missing boy. Next one, Wendell Carter Jr. A lot of people in Twitter, Grizz Nation. I know in the Bluff City Media Discord, a lot of people. That's a hot topic name. Him with the Magic, they had a lot of options this year. What's your thoughts on him? Do you do that deal if it comes available?
So this is one of those ones where you're going to a team with a surplus of bigs and hoping that they're willing to move off of it because they're trying to put their money and their assets somewhere else. That's the hope. If you're the Grizzlies, because I think he's a talented player. I remember when he came out of Duke. His comp for the most part was like Al Horford. You know, he's not a wow player when you watch Wendell Carter, but you go to the rim. You know, he's able to protect the rim. He's going to block some shots. He can shoot the 3-pointer. He has some skill, you know, offensively. But he's not going to wow you with a 40-inch vertical, things like that.
Right.
You know, not the absolute strongest guy, but I think the Al Horford comp was a decent, you know, comp for him, whether it's back end of the career Al Horford or, you know, however you look at it. But that was a decent comp for him. I mean, back end of the career Al Horford still, he hooping.
He's still going.
He's still hooping. But with Wendell Carter, the money from this standpoint, like it makes sense to, you know, you have to, like, when I think of the Magic, like, shooting isn't their strength. Like, they got all these guards who, and like Jalen Suggs had a good shooting year overall, but Cole Anthony, you know, Markelle Fultz, they need better shooting around Paulo Banchero, Franz Wagner. Like, those are studs. Like, those are dudes you can build around. But we saw it in the first round they played in Cleveland. Well, you probably didn't see it because the series was so ugly. Right? Yeah. But I put my eyes on that series a little bit. I didn't watch the whole games, but and you can see they struggle offensively. A guy like Luke Kennard, from a spacing standpoint, would make sense for them, you know, from a return, from a contract value. You know, for those unaware of Wendell Carter's contract, it's very similar to Brandon Clark's. Not trading Brandon Clark in this case. But so from a financial standpoint, you know, we were talking about Jared Allen at $20 million. You're going down a little bit here around the $14 million range when you're talking about Wendell Carter. So you're gonna have to give up something. I don't think that, you know, teams like this are taking like a Zaire Williams and John Conchar, you know, for example. The Magic are eyeing offensive talent. They need point guard play. The Grizzlies don't have that really to give them, but they have shooters, and I think Luke Kennard would be the next best thing. So you're giving up something, but that's the guy I think.
Okay.
For sure. Next guy, Nikola Vucevic.
Yeah.
He's been a consistent 2010 guy for as long as Jesus been putting light in the world. But yeah, how you feel about Nikola Vucevic? On the older side, but he's been doing good. So how do you feel about him?
This is one of those name game type things. Like I'm big on that, man. Like I think a lot of people when we talk NBA hoops, the difference between NBA baseball and all these other sports is you can't just throw all-star names on a team and expect that team to get better. I can list you an all-time team right now and throw out, like 2 all-stars and 3 great role players that can beat your team with 5 legends in it, like legends, because name over game. At the end of the day, game over name, like it has to be in sync. So getting where I'm going with this is, you just mentioned he can score 20 in his sleep. Great rebounder, 3-point shooter. Honestly, we saw him kind of give Jaren the business last year at FIBA, a little bit and whatnot. And he gives a lot of centers the business in NBA. But Vucevic needs the basketball. And personally, I ain't a fan of too many centers that need the basketball and they're fit with the Grizzlies. I'm sure there's going to be a couple more guys that we talk about, and I'm going to kind of talk about that from a similar perspective. But the Grizzlies need rim running bigs, guys, low volume, high production type players. Jared Allen, he ain't going to be standing in the post with his hand in the air like, give me the ball with 5 seconds left on the shot clock. Vucevic, if he has that mismatch, it's going to be give him the ball. And gets
ball.
Jaren's capable of averaging 20. Ja, that's 20 in his sleep. Desmond Bane is 20 in his sleep at this point. You got 3 guys already in your lineup that can give you 20 every night. When they were playing together, they went 5-6 games in a row, all 3 scored 20 points. The last game they played together, that Lakers game where we had Ja, Dez, Marcus Smart, and Jaren Jackson Jr. all top 20 points. So if it's Marcus Smart as your 4th starter, you got 4 guys in the lineup who can give you 20. You don't need a center like a Vucevic. Would he be, a great production guy? Yes. Would he take the Grizzlies to that next level? I don't think so. He's taking touches from Ja. He's taking touches from Dez. That ain't what's gonna get the Grizzlies to the next level, in my opinion.
No.
So you talked about a rim running big.
Yeah.
I know it got a little crazy around the deadline with Nick Claxton, man. And Jared Allen being talked about is making me think Nick Claxton could be back on the table. What's your thoughts on him?
Man, this one is tricky because all the cards are in his hand. And with him heading into restricted free agency and all that stuff. So with Nick Claxton, he's going to command some money. Like we've seen some of the numbers. I've been talking to a couple of people out there, in Brooklyn, like, well, what do y'all think? And they're saying $100 million and things like that. If he gets that type of money, 4-year deal probably. Not sure. I'm not sure if you go that far if you're the Grizzlies because he's solid. He's solid, but he isn't that level to me. Like Jared Allen is certified. Jared Allen has played against Joel Embiid for years. He's played against every other center you can think of. He's been to the All-Star game. He's been one of the top offensive rebounders in the NBA for the last 5 seasons, averaging over 3 offensive rebounds per game in each of those years. Nick Claxton, he's breaking out, and whatnot. And at the end of the day, honestly, we got to see Nick Claxton on winning basketball. Like, I have no doubt in my mind, but this is a little riskier to me. Like, it's riskier because, I believe he can be that rebounder. But, what? Like I said, I talked to people out in Brooklyn, and they say, go look at the advanced metrics on him a little bit. Go look at the on-off numbers. And they're not as pleasing as you would think. He hasn't been that type of game changer, but the energy, like, because it's a different team. With all that being said, that's Brooklyn. You playing alongside Cam Johnson, Mikal Bridges, Dorian Finney-Smith. You get to Memphis,
right?
You playing alongside Ja Morant, Desmond Bane in your backcourt, and Ja coming to the rim, attracting all this attention. Your South Carolina boy you used to play AAU with, he's just gonna throw it in the air. Nick Claxton go get it. So look, rim protected, rebounding, all it makes sense. I'm cautious of the financial number. You don't pay this dude 25 million a year when you already, because people got to remember this. Like, the Grizzlies are 4 now. And what I mean by that is Jaren Jackson Jr. is extension eligible after next season. Jaren Jackson Jr., if he plays how I think he's capable of, we're talking 250 to 300 million.
Getting a max contract for sure.
He's going to surpass easily what Ja and Dez just got. So you're talking 3 max deals on your team. If you're going to put a guy at center, you need bang for your buck. You don't need another big money here. Throw all this money at him. You need a guy who's going to give you high production, and we can pay him 12, 13, 14 million. Can Nick Claxton give you the production? No doubt, in my opinion. Can Nick Claxton help the Grizzlies get closer to that championship window? For sure. But how long would that be? Because you get Nick Claxton, you probably got to let go of 3 or 4 pieces. Now you're one of those teams top
Phoenix Suns.
You're top heavy, but one injury, you sink
done for.
Yeah, you sink it.
What about bringing JV? Jaeger, bringing Jaeger back to me. We've been hearing about this a little bit. How you feel about bringing JV back to them?
Man, I'm gonna go back to the Vucevic point. Like, think about it. When they got rid of Valanciunas, they brought in the Steven Adams. They kept the rebounding, and it's still one of the best rebounding teams in the offensive rebound and all that. But we know Jonas used to like his touches. He used to get his touches. And honestly, that fuels him on the offensive end. He's not no big, set of screen, roll to the rim, and catch alley-oops and all that. Jonas gets offensive boards, puts backs, and post touches. Steven Adams didn't have to do all that. It freed up Ja Morant's game. It freed up Dez's game. It freed up Jaren's game a little bit. You bringing Jonas back, here's the part that makes sense to me. Because I'm not going to be completely dismissive of the idea of bringing Jonas back. If there's a market out there where we say Jonas is talking to all these teams and they're saying, look, man, at this point in your career, you got to be a backup. Like, that's who you are now. Now we making sense for him to come to Memphis. If Jonas comes here on a mid-level exception, maybe even a vet's minimum, depending on how his market plays out. Like, because at the end of the day, I always say this, since we're talking about centers. The center position in the NBA is like running back in the NFL. From a value standpoint. I think there's still value there, but people disrespect the position, and what they could do for a team. So unless it's your Christian McCaffrey, like Jokic, or your Saquon Barkley, like Rudy Gobert, whatever the case may be. Other than that, guys are going to not get these super big deals. Centers aren't getting max contracts just like that. And they also aren't, so when it comes to Valanciunas, I have no clue what his market is going to be like this offseason. Like, it could be anywhere. I wouldn't be surprised if he signed on somewhere for a decent vet minimum. I wouldn't be surprised if he got a decent deal, $12 million, $13 million a year, short year, probably 1 or 2 years. But if it's the first option, if he's getting anything over 10 million, Grizzlies should stay away. But if you could somehow finagle your way into the situation and get him on a cheap deal and bring him in possibly as a backup, I'm cool with it. Because now you protect yourself in case of, Jaren sprained an ankle a couple weeks. No problem. We got another big that we can bring right in and give you some post touches. Because I'm big on depth. At this point, the Grizzlies, it's all about depth at this point. Like Gigi Jackson, you got another scorer off the bench. If one of those top guys go down, we can bring a guy in who can go get you 20. But what about the post? The Grizzlies don't have another guy other than Jaren who can put his back to the basket and say, I got this, coach. Move out of the way. Right. He would give you that type of guy from a depth standpoint, but I don't think you should put too many assets into him.
It's a good idea. I like that. Clint Capella. Atlanta, they got a lot going on, bro. It's a possibility with everything that they try to blow on up. What's your thoughts on Capella?
Before the season, this was my guy. Like, when we were, talking about the Steven Adams situation and whatnot, I'm like, man, that's who they need to go get. But if you watch Clint Capella this year, you're starting to see it. You're starting to see the decline, and he's still good. The rebounding is still good. Still can block some shots. Like, he had a really good game earlier this season against Jaren at a point. But am I confident that it's because the good part about it is only 1 year left on this deal. Bad part, it's $22 million. So again, we're talking maybe Marcus Smart. If you want that to happen, you don't want to get rid of Marcus Smart for Clay Capella. I'm not.
Heck no.
Exactly.
Heck no. No, I would be so mad. I would be so mad. Oh my gosh. Continue, but I would just be so mad.
Sure.
I would be so mad.
I'm throwing the name out there from a financial standpoint, not from a logical basketball what makes sense.
Yeah.
Now, basketball what makes sense. Maybe you could talk them into, a Luke Kennard, but guess what? They might come back and say, we got Bogdanovich. We got an instant impact scorer off the bench who's one of the better 3-point shooters in the league. We don't really need him. So I don't see how the Grizzlies, unless this is a 3-team deal and, you throw some picks in there and another team throws a player that Atlanta wants or whatever. That's the only way. But the contract, it's too big to me for 1 year of a player who's declining, and to the point where, honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if you go get Clint Capella. Like, yeah, this the piece that's going to get us over the hump. And he plays 42 games next season. And, go look at his highlights this year. I mean, more so his lowlights. You'll see Trae Young setting him up. I mean, he missed some point blank layups, some dunks. Like, he ain't that Houston Rockets, James Harden, Chris Paul throw the ball in the air, he go get it, Clint Capella anymore. Still real good, but he ain't the missing piece to me. Like I said, before this season, I was aboard. I was about the track. Now, watching him play this year, I'm leaving the tracks, man. I'm leaving the tracks.
Man, it sound like Bismack Biyombo over there. God, dog.
For real. In my opinion, Clint Capella, of all the guys we're getting to, is the worst case scenario, in my opinion. In my opinion, he's the worst option on that we're about to go into.
Because of the contract, man. You got to give up too much.
Yeah, it's the contract and, like you said, the value. But the next guy we're going to talk about, as you see, is Andre Drummond, who I feel like is a good bang for your buck type guy. But how do you feel about bringing Dre to the M?
Yeah, so this is a guy that played on a minimal contract, this past season. So, like you said, bang for your buck. You get him. He fits from the standpoint of, like we were talking about Jaren being at the center. Like, I think people will like this fit, but they're not gonna like a certain part of it. Let's say if they get Andre Drummond, this is someone you just acquired in free agency. We ain't got to do the whole trade thing, all that. They just go get him, send him vet minimum, sign him. He want to be here. That's that. Well, I don't think the Grizzlies will get Andre Drummond to start. So if they get Andre Drummond, Jaren Jackson Jr. is your starting center. That's probably what's going to happen. Now they're going to do something different at the 4. So it's a give and take there. You have Jaren as your starter, but you're going to have Andre Drummond playing 19, 20 solid minutes, bully ball. We know how he gets, arguably the best rebounder of the 21st century. You can make that argument.
Facts.
Him, Dwight Howard, that's the conversation to me. But he's that guy. So when it comes to rebounding, he's still a great rebounder. And there was some, like, this past trade deadline or whatever, like, people were talking about Andre Drummond's name a little bit and whatnot. But I think this is a guy you go get when you talk about bang for, like you said, bang for your buck, right? Vets minimum, and you bring him in. But I don't see the Grizzlies bringing him in to start. So that's one of the you talk Andre Drummond, you come to the realization that also probably means Jaren starts at center. Yeah. Now, start, finish games, we know that's all different. And I know everybody gets fixated on starting, but the finish is what matters most. And I think he gives you that optionality, because what I think the Grizzlies need at center is optionality. Like, you got Brandon Clark. We ain't talking a lot about Brandon Clark in this show, but Brandon Clark gives you, the yang to the yang. Like when they were playing the Timberwolves that year, and Steve Adams got played off the floor. Like, not even just out of start lineup. Steve Adams was on the end of the bench clapping his hands. Like, that's where it was. But guess what? You had a Brandon Clark who you can make an argument. Maybe beside Desmond was the best player for the Grizzlies in that series against the Timberwolves. You can make that argument. So you need that yin to the yang. And Andre Drummond would give you that forcefulness, that physicality to balance out the quickness, the agility that Brandon Clark gives you at the 5 as well. So I just think, makes a lot of sense. I'm on board with it, but it also probably means Jaren Jackson Jr. starting at center.
True. We're going to get you out of here, Damichael. I know we got about 3, maybe 2, maybe 3 left.
For sure.
You talked about earlier on moving him to the 5, Jaren, and bringing in a guy power forward.
Mm-hmm.
I think this makes a lot of sense. That contracts around the same area. The only thing is, he is Brandon Clark on steroids. He's he is. Want to see the ceiling of Brandon Clark.
Ultra athletic, man. Loved all that. Yep.
And he actually hit a 3. His shot ain't broken.
He actually will. He
hit something against the Grizzlies. Do y'all remember when they played in Utah?
Yeah, he was scoping that thing, especially from the corner and like the wing short corner. Oh, he was scoping that thing. My gosh, I was pissed. I'm like, why is this dude shoot like that? Anyway, I was pissed.
Man, look, from again player standpoint, I like it because he can rebound too.
Yes,
John Collins can rebound.
Yes, he can.
But the problem, $26 million.
That's a lot of money.
because the Grizzlies, we talking about the money so much because Grizzlies about to be a first apron team. They can't get more than 110% back in a deal, so it's pretty much got to be close to even money, in these deals. And basically, yeah, he makes sense, but where are they gonna get that $26 million to ship out to acquire him? Are you trading to Marcus Smart?
That's smart. Jit. Everybody.
John Conchar is going to be around $6 million this year. Zaire Williams is going to be around $6 million. So maybe one of those players and a Marcus Smart gets you there. Both of those players and a Luke Kennard get you there. Luke Kennard and John Conchar, Zaire Williams. I know from the Grizzlies standpoint that makes a lot of sense. But is Utah taking that? Is Utah saying, okay, yeah, let's put John Conchar and Zaire Williams around Lord Marketing? Like that works for us. Is Utah saying that? And maybe you throw those players to them, but you throw some picks on it. And they accept it, but this one, I like it from the player fit standpoint, but the financial point, like again, Jaren about to get paid. Like,
yes, he is.
We're gonna talk about it a lot this upcoming season because it's gonna be one of the bigger talking points. But he's about to get paid, and the money around those three guys, you got to be real smart with it. If you want to give John Collins $26 million, you better be sure that he's gonna come in and be that final piece that gets you over the hump.
Yeah, absolutely.
Last guy, who's personally my favorite pick, but probably the most unrealistic pick, is the University of Memphis's very own Jalen Duren, who's playing his tail off in Detroit and gonna be one of the staples of that franchise if he stays over there. So how do you feel about the reunion of Jalen Duren coming back to be in the Beale Street Blue?
Yeah. Man, I like the idea of it. I mean, we talk about the rebounding. Like this is a young dog right here. Like next 2 years as he continues to get stronger, he's already strong. Like I saw him in high school when I was out there in Philly, and 10th, 11th grade, biggest dude by far. Making seniors look like freshmen. Like he's been that from a physical standpoint. He fits now. The only question that I have when it comes to Jalen Duren is I've talked to people in Detroit about him. Like, why are we even why is his name on this list right now? Like, why isn't he considered, a franchise cornerstone? Because if he was a franchise cornerstone, we wouldn't be. His name wouldn't be on it. So it has to be a downside somewhere. You got to address all these things before you entertain the idea of bringing somebody in. I'm like, what's that about? And defensively, they say he just hasn't developed yet. I mean, when I look at the athleticism, when I look at the rebounding ability, I'm thinking, oh yeah, he protecting the rim over there, holding it down. But that's not the case. He has to improve a lot as a position defender. They were telling me how on off, a lot of the numbers were better when he was off from a defensive standpoint. And quite frankly, he's just been below average, as an NBA center on the defensive end to this point. That's what's holding him back. Offensively, you're gonna get the dunks. You're gonna get, the offensive rebounding. You're gonna get the defensive rebounding. You're gonna get the physicality. Guys ain't bullying Jalen Duren. And I mean, we're talking about a guy who came in the league as the youngest player in his class, like Gigi, and held his own. So I like it. But the question would be, can Taylor Jenkins? And this is a Taylor Jenkins trend. We talk about the offensive side and the Grizzlies are not elevating to that next level offensively, but defensively, dudes come over here and work. They do. Dudes come play defense when they come to Memphis. Can he bring that out of a Jalen Duren? If you convince yourself the answer is yes, sign me up. Go get him. If you're saying, man, I don't know, then it's a little risky. It's a little risky to go get him.
Yeah, I listened to your episode last week. You were talking about who's on the hot seat, things like that. If you want to know Damichael's opinion about that, go over to Locked On Grizzlies and listen to that last episode. We talking about that. You can get his opinion there on that. But we on the same thing.
Yeah.
Is there a mystery center, Damichael, that we haven't talked about, or if you just have to go, if it's not somebody that you say, all right, I'm Damichael Kleiman, this is who we going with.
Damichael Kleiman.
Yeah, man. So the mystery center to me is an archetype, and I'll throw a couple of names out there. But what I think is, for one, you don't need a big name. Like I'm telling you, I'm super big on game over name. Like you can go get, think about it before the last couple of seasons. If you say, oh man, the Mavs, they need a guy like Derrick Jones Jr., You know, that's the perfect type of player to put around Luka. A lot of people like,
never would have said that.
What are you talking about? What?
But you look at his game. You say, man, if his 3-point shot develops with the way he plays defense, with the way he runs the floor, and you got Luka, you know, playing the pick and roll, the way he cuts to the basket, former slam dunk winner, like dude fits beside Luka, and that's what we're seeing now. So that's kind of how I view this center situation. Like it's like a Derrick Jones Mavs type fit. I'm the big names like Jared Allen is 1A for me. That's if he makes too much sense. 20 million, you can move the money like the Marcus Smart money, and it makes perfect sense. But from a mystery center standpoint, one, I think you go in the draft, whether it's first or second round, you get a developmental guy. Probably going to be second round. There are a couple guys out there. There are a couple G League Ignite guys. There are a couple productive college centers. You know, I like Almanza a little bit. You know, from a like, you know, put him on a 2-way contract and see what he becomes in a couple years. But you go get right now, like for the now time being, you go get a cost controlled guy, whether it's you know someone you trade for who's on a rookie deal, like we just talked about Jaren, like a cost controlled rookie deal guy, or what I think is going to happen is you end up with a guy who in free agency doesn't cost you that much money. You know, like I think there are some cases where it works out. There are some cases where it doesn't. Like I remember Dallas before last season. Remember they went and got JaVale McGee from the Suns. For the Suns, he was balling. Like I think he was on not the finals team, but he was on the team that had the 1 seed in the West when the Grizzlies played the Warriors in the second round. He was on that team with them. And,
the Lakers.
And he was on the Lakers championship team. But I remember when the Mavs went and got JaVale McGee, I said, man, you know, catching lobs from Luka and whatever, but it didn't work out. He rode the pine. Like when the Lakers, you know, when it got was Christian Wood. I was like, oh yeah, that's gonna be nice.
Crazy.
Didn't work out defensively. So more than anything, go get a guy who's going to play to the Grizzlies' strengths. Defensive guy. I don't care about anybody, honestly, averaging 15, 16, 17, 18 points a game doesn't impress me for this center spot. If you throw me a guy out there, you say, man, he averaged 18 for his career, really don't care because you got Ja, Dez, and Jaren. You don't need that. I really don't care about that. You need somebody who's going to play defense.
For sure.
Take the rim. So name-wise, I ain't telling you, these ain't wild names, but go get these guys. I bet you it makes an impact. Think of a guy like Goga Patasa. Like, this is very off the radar. But when he started, Wendell Carter was hurt a large part of the season. Magic still were really good. Go look at the defensive numbers when he was on the floor on that team. Best of any of their centers. Better than Mo Wagner was on the court. Better than Wendell Carter was starting. When he was in that starting lineup, the Magic ended up with a top defense, but they were really elite. Offensively, he ain't your guy. You know, he gonna frustrate you a little bit. You know, he gonna have some mismatches and probably don't take advantage of them. You pull your hair out like, man, what is he doing? But defensively,
goofy dude.
Yeah, for real. But protecting the rim, and this was a former first-round pick. Like he's talented. When he got drafted by Indy in the first round, there was a big reason for that. And he's not going to command a big salary. This is a guy you can say, let's go sign him to a 2-year minimum deal, and he can play a lot of minutes for you. So that's one guy that makes sense, and I think him, Drummond, are two guys as my cost control, options that you can go get. For low value financially, but potentially high production. I think Goga, as we saw when he started with the Magic, man, it was like what? It's like 7, 8, 9 points a game, 8 rebounds, and plus defense. You get that, and the Grizzlies are the number 1 ranked defense in the NBA, number 2 ranked defense in the NBA. I'm cool with it because you're gonna get 20 plus from Ja. You're gonna get 20 plus from Dez. Jaren might end 18, 19. He might even give you 20 plus. I'm cool with that type of guy. And he's one of the better defensive centers in the NBA.
I've heard Goga a lot.
Yeah.
If it happens, look, I trust them dudes, man. I just leave it like that. I trust them to see what they need. And if they don't get it done, then hey, man, y'all just may not be the guys for the job. Because this team is primed to compete.
Yeah, for sure.
This the mystery centers we talk about. I know some people don't hear Goga and be like, man, Damichael, what you talking about, man? Like, come on, be for real. But that's why I had to preface it with the Derrick Jones Jr. Come.
Right.
If we were talking Derrick Jones Jr. on the NAS podcast a couple years ago, people would turn it off. What are you
Right.
talking about? You know,
they love him now.
Come on now, they're like they're glue fit guys in the NBA. You know, that play those type of roles that put you right above. Think of like the Warriors when I'm thinking of when KD got hurt that year. They played Damian Lillard and the Blazers in the Western Conference Finals, and Steph Curry and Klay and Draymond had to carry the load. But you can make an argument their fourth best player in that series was Alfonso McKinney.
Yeah, he was locking up.
And grabbing boards, doing all the dirty work. Like, that's all you need sometimes. Steph, Klay, they're going to do all the scoring. You just play this specific role, and you're going to take us to an elevated level. We need you to score 18, 19 points a game. We don't need you going off the dribble on ISOs. The Grizzlies don't need that from center. They got everything else they need. They just need a defensive-minded guy. And if you get a guy who can give you some of that, like Jared Allen is average, over 14 points per game last 3 or 4 years. Like, that's cool. That's cool. But we're talking about your mystery guy at this point. So this is a guy I feel like cost control, probably out of the blue for some people. Goga makes sense to me.
Yeah. One thing about it, man, and we're going to get out of here, Michael, because we will over time, and I appreciate you, man, sticking in here with us. The Grizzlies, anytime, this is the offseason where we've probably heard their name more on any rumors than ever before, probably.
Yeah, for sure.
Any rumor they've ever been on, it's never been the thing that they do. So I'm just kind of like now, I'm kind of like, all right, whatever that's out there, I'm not even getting excited because it'll be like you say, it'll be Jerome from the fifth floor that we didn't even expect, and he goes out there hitting doubles and leads us to a championship, man. So, Damichael, man, we appreciate you, bro, for real, coming in here, sticking with us, giving us, blessing us with your presence, your knowledge. Before you get out of here, just plug everything that you got, and we're gonna let you get to where you got to go, my brother.
Yes, sir, man. Appreciate you guys for having me. Like I said, man, I've been tapped in, been tuned in. Love the content that y'all guys, like I saw Sane shout y'all out the other day, and I had to comment on it because what he said is exactly what I've been thinking. Like y'all doing great work, and I mean, y'all pretty much know how I am at this point. I'm not one of those weird Grizzly content creators that like we all, you know how it gets around here. But man, it's room for all of us, to sign. Me and Sane always talk about that, and so I love seeing what y'all doing. But for those interested in checking out my content, Locked On Grizzlies podcast, you fan podcast, Monday through Friday. Me, my co-host Joe Mullinax breaking down everything that's going on, around the Grizzlies, talking a lot of all-season stuff right now. You follow me on X at Damichael C, and that's how you check out all my content. I'm active. I'm peeking my name. I'm poking holes, trying to see what's going on, around the team. And and as I hear things, you'll hear them on the podcast. You'll see them at thecommercialappeal.com. Where all my written content is as well. But yeah, that's where you can check out all of my stuff.
Cool. Damichael Cole, Commercial Appeal, Locked On Grizzly, man. Look, we appreciate you, bro. We're going to catch you next time, man. You have a blessed one. Y'all stay tuned. We're going to finish this out on the other side of the break. Y'all stay locked in. We'll be right back.
An anonymous NBA team member says that having the number 1 pick in this year's draft is like essentially drafting Tobias Harris.
Wow.
Which we've both talked about Tobias Harris. I like him as a player. Man, that's kind of harsh. But I understand what he's saying. You don't want Tobias Harris as the number 1 pick in the draft.
Because you look at him and you see what can be. It's just like, you just need it all. Can we get it all the time? I just want to see that more. You're talking about some people with some low numbers as being high draft picks. I mean, the draft is just a lot different than what I'm accustomed to. Like, you guys that are going to be averaging 11 points, some guys averaging 9 points. These guys are your top 5 draft picks for the NBA draft.
I don't know, but good luck to them.
Yes.
Dreams will come true.
Well, we will welcome them into the NBA with open arms, especially if we can pronounce the last name.
Tune in to the Night Court Podcast with your hosts, Rob Fisher and Brevin Knight, on the Bluff City Media YouTube channel.
Does anyone as a Grizzly fan have the right to cheer for whoever they cheer for in the playoffs, especially when the Grizzlies aren't playing? Yes, right.
Absolutely, yeah.
I don't give a flying deep fried shit about who you guys choose to cheer for. I don't. I honestly don't care who you choose to cheer for. when you talk about the grit and grind era, Zach Randolph was that dude to me. He was my favorite player of that era. My second favorite player of that era was Mike Conley Jr.
Right.
And I remember even in covering the team, just some really dope conversations I've had with Mike Conley. He's a super cool dude. You know what I mean? If you choose to cheer for Mike, you definitely have that right. I also have a right to not give a damn about Mike's career outside of being a Memphis Grizzly. Like, I do not care, bro. Like, when Mike Conley got traded to another team, that dude was super happy to be gone. Like, and he has that right as well. The situation that he left, I'm not mad at him for, being happy to get away from it. If he wins one, will I be happy? Will I be hating on him? No. I'll be, hey, that's dope. Mike Conley got a championship. Hey, he's been around for a long time.
Tune in to The Anthony Sane Show, Wednesdays and Fridays at 12 p.m. weekly on the Bluff City Media YouTube channel.
Well, saying you ain't got to worry about that, brother, because they did not make it.
they got they gentlemen swept out of the playoffs. Sorry, Mike, we love you, but nah, no chip for you. I was thinking about the other day. You realize Mike Conley has played 9 conference finals games. He's only won 1. Think about that. That's sad. Like, I thought this was going to be, so I was like, dang, what if Mike Conley, they get swept and Mike Conley has never won a game in the conference finals? I'm like, dang, that's kind of whack.
Well, what needs to happen is Mike needs to go ahead and get off that contract. He shouldn't have signed it because I think after this one, he may be able to sign a vet minimum for maybe 1 year, maybe after this next one that he signed. He need to just come on for that last year before he get out of here, be Ja's backup, and at that point, we'll be probably back-to-back, getting ready to be back-to-back champions, man. Just do that. And you'll be all right.
Well, then after you retire, you put the jersey in the rafters, with the championship. It's a full circle. It's Mark and Zebo and TA can all come back and
right.
I'll be smooth. But Mike, we'll talk about that in 2026.
For sure. Man, we gotta give a big shout out and big thank you for Damichael coming through. Man, that was amazing. Dropped a lot of stuff that I hope y'all picked up on for sure. He wasn't up here just talking.
He was dropping
for those that
gems.
don't know. Yes, sir. Damichael is tapped in with the team more than anybody that you know. So just take what he says, not with a grain of salt. Take it for what it is. And like I said, I appreciate him. We appreciate him coming on, man, and dropping that for sure. So make sure y'all give him a follow on Twitter, X. Make sure you tap in the commercial pit for all his work and the Locked On Grizzlies podcast, which is a daily podcast. So if you want to tap in him daily, you got that option as well. Shout out to him for sure. Also, make sure y'all in the comments below. I know we went kind of fast through the list, but make sure y'all put in the comments below, man. Well, out of everybody we talked about, or if it's even somebody that we didn't talk about, drop in the comments who y'all think the Grizzlies should go after to address that center situation, whether it be to bump Jaren up to center or to keep him down at power forward and address the center situation. I'm not going to lie to you, bro. I added in that John Collins thing last night when I was kind of going through, and the more and more I looked at it, I was like, bro, I kind of like this. I'm not going to hold you. When you looking at the Denver Nuggets, how they got Jokic and Aaron Gordon, Jaren and John Collins, bro, who-wee.
I like John. It's just the money is what scares me. If it was strictly a basketball perspective, from the 3 guys, all the guys that we mentioned, number 1 would be Jared Allen, number 2 would be John Collins, and 3 would be Jaren Jackson. That's my top 3. And if you want to do a 4, it would be Nick Claxton. I'm kind of off the Nick Claxton train. Or I said Jaren Jackson because his age, he fits the timeline for us, and he's not making that much money. John Collins, as all the reasons we talked about before, but the money's a little out there. Jared Allen is the perfect balance. So he's not too old. He has some veteran experience, but he also has a good, favorable contract. So if we get any of those 3 guys, I will be happy. I really hope we keep on Marcus Smart, but it's looking like that's probably not going to be the case if we get one of these guys. So yeah, we have to see what happens. It's a as we talked about before, it's a lot of things going. It's like we're moving in slow motion right now, waiting for the final things we can really talk about and really get into the nitty gritty of the off season. But we're gonna get there slowly but surely. We're fine. We made it through May. I feel like May was going on forever. We're in June now.
Yeah, it was.
So yeah, we're excited to see what's gonna go. We're way over time, but hey, I hope y'all tuned in, watched through the whole thing. We're like at 1:30.
Oh, I know they did.
Right now. I ain't get y'all shout out. Last week we had the biggest episode in our show's history last week.
Yeah,
so
it went crazy.
Shout out all y'all. We had over 1,500 views through both our main platforms, and the support we got was it just hit me different. Like I know we've been
Yeah.
saying that a lot, but last week was like a really dope week. Like I honestly, shout out Jessica Benson. She followed me last week off of last week's show. Shout out.
Hey,
JB.
that's we're close to 500.
One close. I think I'm getting value. I'm getting value follows. I'm not getting the number.
There you go. You're not getting all those porn bots and trolls and stuff.
Like Jessica Benson followed me, Dad followed me. A lot of people shout, gave me some love, So I just want to say I appreciate everybody just tuning in because just to let you know, I ain't trying to get all sappy. This is probably my highlight to start my week every week. Just sitting down, talking with my boy, talking to my dog Chris. Just talking about some basketball, fam. Like. Yeah, it's a highlight of my week. So when y'all keep watching, it just I don't know. I know Chris probably feels my way, but it makes me feel like I'm doing something good. You feel me? So again, I just want to give everybody flowers. Chris will give you your flowers for being an awesome co-host. But yeah, we gonna keep it moving.
Yeah, man, y'all keep engaging. I think Kenny said we got one of the most engaging shows as far as just like comments and engagement. So like we appreciate that, man. Like that, again, that makes us feel like we're doing something right. You know what I'm saying? So again. Something that y'all want to see more of, less of, let us know. We still gonna be us now.
Yeah,
we'll change who we are.
No, never that. Never that.
But
I got a Power Ranger shirt on right now. You see, I'm a nerd.
Come on with it.
Shirt on right now.
Come on, man. R.I.P. to Tommy, man.
R.I.P. Jason David Frank, man. Oh my gosh, I was so sad. I was so sad when that man died. That's how.
Hey, that he was working on like a spin-off movie too before. He
was like Lord Dykerin. Okay. I'm not gonna get into my Powers narrative.
Yeah, let's not get nerdy, bro.
Because I can talk too much.
He's so crazy. Y'all seen it, right?
My eyes lit up. Oh my gosh. R.I.P. David Frank. Oh my gosh. That was my childhood. Anyway. Before we get because I was talking about Power Rangers and Marvel and Super. I was talking about that in anime. I was talking about that all day, fam. Oh my God, do not get me started. I will talk your ear off about that. So please don't get me started. Oof. I'm gonna shut up.
Oh man, nah, bro, you good. Yeah. Man, great show today. Like you said, we went long, but I promise y'all it was worth every single second. So we appreciate the support. Draft is coming. We're gonna keep these dates till we hit them. June 26th and 27th, 2-day draft this year. We are now T-minus 23 days into the draft. So stay locked in, man. It's getting a lot closer. Can't wait to see what happens. Hopefully we'll get some type of move before then, but we'll see what happens. They're going to do something. I know that. That's for sure. And then free agency opens and begins on the 30th. So that's it, man. If y'all want to be a sponsor, we are in the works. Getting that taken care of, getting that started. So if you want to become a sponsor one of these segments, sponsor the show as a whole, we got a bunch of different packages we can send to you. So definitely reach out to us at the No Bluffin podcast at gmail.com. And make sure you follow us on all platforms, man. Spotify, Apple Music, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, all of that. BluffCityMedia.co. .co. It don't got an M at the end. So make sure if you're trying to go to the website, you don't add the M at the end. And yeah, man, just like, share, and subscribe to all your peoples so they can get this good content every single week. So that's all I got. Evan, you got anything else before we get out of here, bro?
Shout out to Michael. Shout out Bluff City. We lit. Everybody have a good week. Drink some water. Love on your family. Peace and love. God bless.
Just like that. Go Grizz. We out of here.
Go Grizz.
Thank you for listening to this episode of the No Bluffing podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, like and subscribe to Bluff City Media's YouTube page. For comprehensive coverage of all things Memphis sports, head over to www.bluffcitymedia.co and find out how you can become an insider. We will see you back here next week.